Hello, my ladies and pretty gentlemen. Welcome back to the final episode of March's Look What's Happening in the Spirit Realm with yours truly, Light. I have a very interesting message, and this is going to be directed to what Spirit considered a half-blood or a demi of some sort. This is a message for someone who, I'm going to put these words very plainly and basically. You may have come from a lineage of what I would describe a true blood, or people who have had true blood, people who were born in, I don't want to call it evilness, but people who were born like a vampire. What I'm getting is that you as a demi, whoever you are that I'm speaking to today, you were born with all the instincts, all the powers, all like you've seen in these vampire movies, but we're talking in a spiritual sense. You were born having all of their instinctual gifts, all of their ability to morph, mutate, to study, to manipulate, to intuitively sense. You were born with all of these gifts that perhaps the true bloods in your lineage gave to you. But what you don't have is their weakness to feed on other people's energy. You do not have their weakness. And for a lot of you, there could have been a thing where your family or the people around you have been very secretive, and almost as though you were being initiated or you were being called to open up and allow initiation into being in the know of something. And it was almost like you were being watched, you were being targeted or manipulated in some way to test what you know, to test your boundaries, your limitations, and your weaknesses. The people that have entered your life and associated themselves with you in a relational status, these people were not accidental. These people were what I would consider in this channel right now, people who were, quote, bitten. Imagine a rogue vampire, right? I'm just gonna go to metaphoricals here. Imagine a rogue vampire in one of these multiple shows that we've seen in books since the 1700s. The whole thing has kind of blown over. Imagine a true blood, right? Taking certain select people out of the population and poisoning them in order to be like them. But at a certain point, things got crazy and chaotic to the point where now random, back alley Sallies that were bitten are just biting random ass people. And some of them don't even have a taste of blood. They don't even have their first feed. And there are among them what you would consider, if we've seen the Twilight series, right, the saga, I believe it was Bella's daughter. It's something along those lines. It's a very strange mutation, a very strange adaptability, and I'm getting that whoever I'm picking up on, there could have been a sense of feeling guilty, a sense of feeling like yucky, like you've had to overcompensate by doing so much good or by truly judging yourself and putting yourself underneath people because you felt like a predator. You felt like there was something inside you that was foul, that you were capable of, truly taking advantage of people, but you never let yourself go there. Like whoever I'm talking to probably has never let themselves get angry. They've never let themselves feel these deep emotions, even betrayal. There's this wide scope of not just adaptability, but pain that you're able to withstand. And it's almost like you've been protecting people from you. And in some ways, that has backfired. And whoever you are, there could have been a calling for you to sort of remove yourself from the family, because what I'm getting is the people that we would consider here right now as true blood, quote unquote, or even just regular bitten people. These vampiric energies, not only did they want you because you were not weak like them. That's what I'm getting. You're not weak, meaning you don't need to feed on people. That is their ultimate weakness. You have their strength and you do not have their weakness. And a lot of them have been wanting to get you on their side. And since they lost you, since you have abandoned that baton that was being handed to you, spiritually speaking, there has been a lot of targets and attacks and people kind of watching and waiting, and your spirit team constantly discussing with you about your surroundings, and in fact being brought into random situations where you're having to handle several different vampiric energies, and it's because you had a choice to make at one point. These people, those who wanted to indoctrinate you, right, and use your gifts and your strength against other people to use you as some type of Lord of the Flies, some type of, you may have even been called to research Agartha, or you may have gone down the tube, the rabbit hole of the under earth, hollow earth theory. You may have astrally traveled. Whoever I'm talking to, you may have like actual gifts that you've accessed in the astral realms. Stuff like this is what you would probably want to like look out for if this message resonates to you. You refused that baton, and because of that, they're not able to use you. They have to deal with their weaknesses, and in their eyes, they wanted you to almost be the king or the queen or the face of the operation. That's what I'm getting. They wanted you to be the face of the operation, where you would, because you don't have that weakness and people can't sniff you out the way that they can sniff them out, and their, spidey senses will stand up. Regular people, you don't have that effect. So you were a perfect spy for them. That's what I'm getting. You were a perfect spy, a perfect face that would hand people, civilians, quote, end quote, civilians, innocents over so that they can feed them and continue this empire. That's what I'm getting. Whoever you are, you've come from like this empire of darkness. And the people in your lineage have such confidence in their ability. They have so much to lose. That's what I'm getting. They have so much to lose. And even within a family, there's so much secret. There's so many hidden agendas. There are certain siblings and people that know of things and others that do not. And you have been sort of segregated from the rest because maybe you are one of two or maybe three, depending on how large of a family you have, siblings that shares that intuitive, instinctual gift of, these vampires do have gifts, right? Gifts of manipulation, gifts of cognitive empathy. You have all of these gifts, but you don't share their weaknesses, meaning you don't need people. And they knew this about you since you were a kid, because you would isolate, you weren't really impacted by their venom. It wasn't changing you, meaning their abuse, their assault on your spirit wasn't bending you and crunching you into becoming like them. That was when they knew that you had something inside you that would either destroy them or make them stronger. And so they united against you. They spoke about you in rooms when you weren't there. They tried to investigate and study you. They even sent out random people that you might not even know, not to strike up paranoia. Bing, bing, bing. It's not hitting. If you haven't gotten this message and certainty in some way without psychosis involved, it's not for you. You can sit back and get entertained, but it's not for you. Whether we like to believe it or not, there are people, and you are going to understand this if you see it with your spiritual eye, not with the physical, woo-woo, nonsensical perspective, but with your spiritual eye. That sensation you get. A lot of you have probably even met a true blood. There is something about them that they have a magnetism to them. And a lot of these people that we're seeing now, a lot of these bitten ones that we're seeing, they're very low grade. They're very low quality vampires that are going around. And since you've separated, your spirit team has been uniting with other people's spirit team who are being plagued by these small, tiny vampires. And you're being brought to different locations, and a lot of you need to loosen your grip in the spaces that you're in. You need to be able to be prepared to travel light, to be, I don't want to call it bendy, flexible. To be flexible when it comes to, you may not be at the time right now to settle down and try to enjoy a regular life. And that could really hurt. But since you made that choice to separate from them, and you don't have a choice as to to get rid of these gifts that you were handed over, even though it may seem like they came from a very negative place. And you can resonate with having witches in your family, or just gifted women specifically, that some of them may have even gone crazy because of their gifts. This is all coming from that essence of being almost like a true blood. And this is going to be super intense because I'm connecting so many messages that Spirit has been giving me over the years. And this came to me yesterday as I was kind of like talking and resonating with some stuff that Spirit was talking to me about. A lot of them have turned against you. That's what I'm going to say. They have tried to defame you. They have tried to rob you of the gifts. They have tried to use their own blood, which is also your blood, right? And for some of you, these could be family members that you've never met. And this is just coming to me right now. These could be people that, if you were a case where you run away or you left home when you were very, very young, there could be people that you never really got a chance to meet. And for some of you, there are some members in your lineage that have done the same thing. The members that share the same gifts as you, and they do not share the weaknesses of those who need to feed on other people's spirit in order to maintain their status, to maintain their satiation. There are those, and they are among you. They are working with you in the spirit. Some of them have passed on, and I'm getting that there are additions to spirit teams that are being added. Like, there are people, new guides that have been sent out, and they're very fiery, they're very fierce, they're very trained in the art of war. Because a lot of you're probably going to be located in several different places at this time. There's like a call. There's a call because these small, tiny, bitten people, they are going rogue. Some of them have not even had their first kill. Quote unquote. I'm talking so metaphorically, please keep up with me. Some of them have not had their first kill. And when they see you, the spidey senses don't tingle for them. Because you hold the same vulnerability as a civilian, as a regular person, a non, that type of person would have. But this is exactly why you have become an ultimate weapon for what seems like the half of the lineage that you came from, half of the spirits that have been operating in your bloodline. You seem to be the ultimate weapon, and this is why there has been an addition in your spirit teams. There has been more warriors, perhaps beings that don't often associate with people have been associated with you. And you're going to start to feel a difference in your energy. You're going to start to feel almost a thirst for war, a thirst to battle. Bear with me. Those of you who feel like, well, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm really tired, and all that stuff. If you dig deeper, what is the actual real feeling of that exhaustion? Is it coming from the fact that you are constantly disappointed by the lack of rest that you're given? You're constantly being brought into situations where you have to deal with monsters? Is that the case? Or is it because you're being blindsided? And in order to bridge that gap, you're needing to make contact with these new spirit guides. You're needing to actually have a one-on-one conversation with yourself, with your intuition, and truly dig deep. Who are you? What drives you? And not to be all like therapeutic towards the end of this video, but if this is a burden to you, then this isn't for you. Because what I'm getting for this person, this energy, is a sense of like revelation, a sense of finally being able to peel off that last layer of resistance, that last layer of pain that they've shrouded themselves in because they hated a part of themselves. They hated the fact that they were who they were, that they are powerful in the way that they are. And they wanted so badly to be a normal person. They wanted so badly to not see the things that they're able to see. They wondered why other people don't see it. Why are they seeing it? And why can't they, let themselves make mistakes? Why can't they let themselves hurt people? And it's this conflict. There's this complete two opposite conflicts between the person that I'm channeling today, because they have the gifts and the powers of these true bloods, that they have pretty much handed that to them in their veins, and they also are immune to the shortcomings of what that gift holds. So you are two worlds in one, and the world of the civilians and the world of these vampires, neither of them belong to you because you hold the duality. And that is why it's been fucking difficult. I'm sorry to curse. That's why it's been that way. And you're needing to stop cowering. You're needing to stop putting your tail between your legs. You are not wrong. Whoever it is that I'm speaking to, you need to stop questioning your instincts. And I know you've already been doing that, but you need to completely allow the resonance of this power to take over, because it is not going to hurt people. You were supposed to be a weapon to people because these people wanted to indoctrinate you or take you in as theirs, but they couldn't. Their weaknesses will always overpower them, and that is why they resent you. That is why they fear you and resent you, because you signify the end of their reign. You signify the end of their reign, the union between those who are at the mercy of them and they who are at the mercy of their evilness, of their weaknesses, that has so long paraded as strength, but it's not strength. It's not strength. And you are the personification of what they would look like if they didn't need to drink other people's blood. Energetically. This is all an energetic conversation. Those who get it will get it. I was just driven to give this message in this particular way because that's just how it was supposed to be given. That's what I have for you for today and for the very final episode of this beautiful month. Happy spring. As usual, I don't reach out. Everything is in the description box down below. There's so many new things coming out. Just keep an eye out on that. I will be delivering the reading tomorrow, the collective membership reading. So keep up for that as well. I'm sure there's going to be so many interesting things coming up.